Tracking.
You know, if it's going to happen, I say let it happen all the way. I'm the kind of guy, go big or go home. And Mother Nature's going big.
It's kind of like you on the slopes, too.
Yeah.
You know?
He goes home a lot.
It's kind of like me when I go kayaking down the river. I spend half my time upside down in the kayak. All right, friends, here's a live shot. This is beautiful right now, top of Sun Valley. That is the Bowls perspective. And look off in the distance. Now, this is from Sun Valley. So those are the leading edge of the high thin clouds associated with the storm that is on the way. We're already starting to get increasing clouds here across the Treasure Valley as we're a little bit closer to the storm. But computer models over the next 2 days projecting that the I-84 corridor, even right down through the Treasure Valley here in Boise, we could see, according to this model, about 3 inches of snow. The dusting we had last night was on top of roads that froze over, so it was very icy, very slick. I'm anticipating that we could see some snow on the roads, including some ice, in time for the morning commute. Please take that into consideration as you go to bed tonight. You want to check in with Bob Anthony bright and early in the morning to see what's happening. McCall could see an additional 6 inches of snow. It's just looking great. Treasure Valley sitting dry right now, but on the Doppler radar in full scan mode, there you can see what's happening in Malheur County. Already the leading edge of this next storm is starting to move into southeastern Oregon. There's the core of the storm. Now, much of this is going to be impacting us, I'd say from 10 o'clock tonight through the early morning hours. So do expect that this is going to be a snowmaker. We'll say snow tonight, which will lead to a slick morning commute, and then stormy week ahead for the next 5 to 7 days. This is just going to be what I call a hyperactive weather pattern. Again, very reminiscent to November and December. Storm, a break. There's another storm. So what you have to look at in the upper levels of the atmosphere, which way is the flow going? And right now the flow is gathering all the storms out there in the Pacific Ocean, and it's funneling those storms right across Washington, Oregon, Northern California, and Idaho. So this is why I'm saying we're going to be seeing storms about every 24 to 36 hours. Now tonight's storm should be a snowmaker. Then it goes over to that ragged edge. Is it going to be rain or valley snow or freezing rain? Just know that each storm has the potential of being a wintry mix. So here we are with this evening. There's the increasing clouds. Watch what the models do. Starts bringing the snow into the Treasure Valley right around 8 to 9 o'clock tonight through the morning hours. And then by the early morning, I think the snow begins to wind down. And then by the afternoon, we probably get some breaks in the clouds. But look at what happens on Saturday. There comes the next one, and there's going to be one after that as well. So 7-day forecast on the Treasure Valley side. What we're talking about is high temperatures tomorrow, upper 30s. I'm going to say early morning snow. It will commence late tonight through the early morning hours. Then Saturday, another one comes in the afternoon. Then something comes in late Sunday. Then something else comes in on Monday and Tuesday. And it just keeps going on and on. The mountains are going to be seeing snow. Periods of snow, some of which could be heavy at times, on again, off again for the next 5 to 7 days. And how did we do as far as the ski report is concerned? Bogus Basin reporting 6 inches. Brundage got 10 inches of new snow. Tamarack got 7. Sun Valley has had 2. Mora is on the way there. Pomerel has had 6. Anthony Lakes has had 5. And these storms have really been favoring the southern portions of Idaho. Grand Targhee getting about 4. Soldier Mountain not reporting any new snow in the last 24 hours, but hopefully that will change.
But nice totals on all of the resorts.
Really nice totals, and it's just going to keep stacking up and stacking up with all of these storms that come in.
Bring it on.
Okay.
Let's take a look at today's Health Link. A new study shows health warnings on sugar-sweetened beverages may influence whether parents buy the drinks for their kids. The warning would be similar to those on tobacco products. Researchers found when labels warn of obesity, diabetes, and tooth decay, parents are much less likely to actually buy those drinks.
There is a dangerous new illness worrying vets and pet owners.
As Adriana Diaz explains, thousands of dogs have been infected with dog flu.
Ashley Lease walks dogs in the Seattle area. She's paying extra close attention to her four-legged friends after warnings about the new strain of dog flu.
They can get sick just like us, and I know how much I hate being sick.
King County public health officials say up to 90 dogs staying at this kennel outside of Seattle may have been exposed to the virus. 2 have tested positive for flu, but further tests are needed to confirm it's the new strain.
None of the dogs have immunity to fight it off. When dogs are going to dog daycares or dog parks or boarding overnight in kennel facilities, it can spread very rapidly.
This viral video features a Chicago pup named Herbert, who's putting on a brave face while recovering from the flu. Cases first showed up last March in Chicago and spread quickly. Around 2,000 dogs in 24 states have been infected.
Good girl.
A vaccine was made available in November. Vets say the disease is rarely fatal, but owners should see a vet right away if their dog shows symptoms.
So if your dog doesn't eat well misses a meal, if you see coughing, you see lethargy, just being tired, moping around, it could be a sign of a fever. And if you see that, give your local veterinarian a call and schedule an appointment, because they'll need to get on some special medications for it.
People can't contract the virus, but they can spread it to healthy dogs after close contact with a sick dog. And by the way, all of these puppies are available for adoption. Adriana Diaz, CBS News, Chicago.
Well, keeping track of your weight, it can help, when you're trying to lose a few pounds.
Coming up on KBOI 2 News.
It's useful to know how much body fat you have, but a better indication of your overall health is body mass index.
Oh, that dreaded number. The new high-tech scales that promise to give you those numbers, whether you want them or not. But here's the question, how accurate are they? Consumer Reports puts them to the test.
Tonight's primetime lineup here on KBOI 2. Enjoy. We started it all off with a bang.
You're watching KBOI 2 News, first at 4.
Research shows that stepping on the scale frequently can actually be an effective motivator to help you shed weight and actually keep it off.
or sometimes it can be really depressing.
Yeah.
Too. Brian Moran looks at some of the new features that these scales have. He's watching out for you.
Today's digital devices do so much more than simply display pounds. Consumer Reports weighs in on whether they really measure up. When it comes to your weight, more isn't always better, and it turns out the same might be true for your scale. Consumer Reports tested 6 scales, which not only measure weight, but also things like body mass index and fat.
These scales work by passing a very small electrical current through your body. Electrical current passes differently through fat and muscle, and based on the amount of current, they can determine your body composition.
Consumer Reports tested accuracy by sending volunteers to a university lab where they measured body fat using a highly sophisticated device called a BodPod. Testers used this scientific benchmark for each volunteer to assess a scale's accuracy at reporting body fat. None of them came close to the numbers from BodPod for all the volunteers.
They weren't very accurate at measuring body fat, but they were consistent. So if you want to track your body fat composition over time, they are useful.
That said, this $80 Tanita provides the best combination of accuracy for weight and consistency for body fat. This $130 Fitbit Aria Smart Scale can send results right to your smartphone via Wi-Fi.
It's useful to know how much body fat you have, but a better indication of your overall health is body mass index, which you can calculate knowing your height and your weight.
Which means all you really need is a basic scale like this Consumer Reports top-rated Taylor 7506 for $25. Another good reminder that sometimes less is more. Rather than weight, Consumer Reports says to have your body mass index measured, that gives a better gauge of health.
An actor, most recently known for his role in the Harry Potter movies, has passed away.
Coming up on KBOI 2 News First at 4, a look back at the long career of Alan Rickman. Plus,
it's a party at the 7-Eleven where one of 3 winning Powerball tickets was sold. I'm Edward Lawrence in Chino Hills, California. The latest on all the winners coming up.
You're watching KBOI 2 News First at 4.
With most of the country focused on Iowa and New Hampshire, GOP presidential hopefuls are shifting their attention to South Carolina tonight.
As Weisha Zhang reports, the state could play an even bigger role in determining the Republican nominee.
Republican presidential hopefuls have a lot at stake when they take the stage for tonight's debate in South Carolina.
Now that we are so close to Iowa and then New Hampshire, and then we move south to South Carolina, these debates become even more critical.
Dr. Scott Buchanan is a political expert on voters in the Palmetto State. He says candidates should focus on one group tonight.
In South Carolina, the Republican primary, about 60% of the voters are evangelical Christians.
Trump has lagged behind Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio with evangelical voters, but take a look at this map. It shows the most searched candidates on Google in the past week, and every candidate is assigned a different color. You'd be right if you guessed Trump's color is red.
Mr. Trump is #1 by far nationally.
Katrina Pearson is the national spokeswoman for the Trump campaign. She says South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley was wrong to call out Trump this week when she said Republicans need to resist the urge to listen to angry voices.
Frankly, if you're looking around and not angry, then something's wrong. There are several things going on in this country that are just astonishing many people, including new people, which is why you see Mr. Trump's rallies grow.
Tonight's debate cast is the smallest one yet, with Jeb Bush, Chris Christie, John Kasich, and Ben Carson trying to catch up to the frontrunners. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, North Charleston.